And if more people were like me, the left would have won the online space years ago. If more people in the online left were like me, if they could be like me, then there would be no fucking chance for the conservatives. But unfortunately, doing this is hard. And it's tiring. Even for me. What does winning look like to you? Winning? What is winning? Winning isn't an end state. Winning is a state of affairs. You never have won. You can only be doing better. Winning is a process, not a destination. You'll have never won. There will never be a point where winning is a thing that took place in the past. There's only doing well against the forces that be. That's it. That might be a bit far. The conservatives might be able to pivot to some new strategy. They aren't always incompetent. Conservatives are not incompetent when it comes to effectively advocating for their politics. Incompetence in this respect is what we are. The left is bad at that. The right is exceptionally confident. But I, in my opinion, am also exceptional. And if other people could be exceptional in the same way, then we could overcome any rhetorical, any optical strategy they put forward. I just wish more people were willing to adopt these mantras, this confidence, you know? I'm not saying you all have to strut around like gigachads in your day-to-day life, but the fact that even in my community, people are begging me to take the L after ContraPoints dedicatedly tweets a chain of non-arguments and blatant id pull at me is very disappointing. What can I do to make you like me, at least in that respect? I don't even care if you disagree with me. I just want you to have a fucking backbone.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I am here and I am back. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Scrivener 60620. We are back, and yeah, shit. Um, another another fucking day, another dawn. Are we right? Am I right? I'm tired, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I actually took a nap after work. I'm still fucking tired. Um, I don't sleep for about an hour, but like, yeah, I'm tired. Tired, a little bit excited. So I'm probably after the stream, probably go play with myself. Anyway, what's up? What's up? What's up? Um, yeah, we're doing the damn thing today. We are doing the damn thing today, and yeah. How's everybody doing? Don't forget to fucking like, share, and subscribe, and all that other good shit. It would actually help the channel out. And if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button. It actually lets YouTube know that people should be watching our shit. Like, you think I'm good, don't you? You guys like my content, don't you? Don't you? Come on, they say that I need to get other people's I don't know validation online. Yeah, that's what they say. They say I need to actually ask and demand that you guys give me your validation online, because that's the only way that I can make it as a YouTuber. I don't fucking know. Oh god. Wow. I am really, 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 really. Today is going to be one of those days, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs of for all ages. Today is going to be one of those days. And so, here, I want to start out one of those days with something that's kind of interesting. So, let's actually get to it. And I know I'm making a commitment where I can actually put out more content. I'm trying to get back to the 2 uploads a day, which I should be doing regardless, because that actually helps me out in the algorithm and just shit like that. So let's actually get more to it, okay? And we're going to talk about one of our favorite topics so far, and we're going to go to it. Hey, everybody. Now, I probably won't have this out again in the right way, but and I know you may be getting tired of it, But let's talk about reactionaries' reaction to She-Hulk, which I don't fucking understand because it's just a good show. But you have so many of these fucking idiots that are so upset that She-Hulk is a woman that's strong and maybe actually getting. It's stupid. It's really really stupid. And well, let's just see exactly what's going on with She-Hulk from my good friend again. It's a gun. Let's go.
No, you can't wait to see Wong. I get it. I just want to make sure that you
She-Hulk, what has began as a one-off video has turned into weeks of.
Yeah, it has been very lucrative for these motherfuckers to make videos because everybody hates She-Hulk, even though it is very close to the comics. But for some reason, it's bad because I'm sorry. Let me check my notes. Reasons. It's bad because reasons. But maybe they can actually tell me a little bit more. I don't know. But let's go.
Pain. I now dread every Thursday because I know someone will talk to me about the She-Hulk episode.
So why do you keep watching it, you dumbass? If you hate it, why do you keep watching it? Or at least it's better than Geeks and Gamers who doesn't watch it. But let's go.
The opening scene of She-Hulk feels almost like the perfect representation of the show itself, using every trick they have at their disposal to get you interested, as you slowly lose interest, and soon lose consciousness.
Again, why is he still watching this shit? I know I watch shit, like, I know I watch content like this is because I do it to make fun of these dumbasses, but these motherfuckers are like, they don't want to admit that they like a big, strong, muscly woman that will pick them up and carry them into, let's go. Oh, by the way, spoiler alerts for She-Hulk episode 4.
Donnie Blaze!
Donnie Blaze is the magician, you get it? Donnie Blaze? Johnny Blaze? Ghost Rider starring Nicolas Cage? That's an Easter egg.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Oh, wow, he really thinks that. Okay, let's go.
You bigots!
Madison with 2 N's, 1 Y, but it's not where you think.
Wow. As the great.
I swear to Christ, Amy Schumer has to be a writer on this show.
It was a joke, you dumbass. She is literally the party girl stereotype. Oh my god. Okay, let's go.
No. Don't talk to me, Jen.
You look happy.
God damn it.
I guess you saw that Wong is back. God, everybody loves Wong. It's like giving the show Twitter armor for a week.
It'd be funny if.
Okay, yeah, sure. What is the problem with that? Literally, this is like the She-Hulk brand. Oh, okay, let's go.
It wasn't so pathetic. No, what the heck? I'll laugh anyway.
In the comics, Jen Walters' dad is a sheriff, and he has some testosterone left behind. In the She-Hulk TV show, he's the other dude from Perfect Strangers.
Wait, what was so wrong with the shit? Like, okay, sure. Like, what do you think testosterone does, you dumbass? I know you have so little of it that you don't understand that it doesn't make you some raging fucking demon possessed sex monster. That's not what testosterone does. All right, let's go.
You are hysterical.
What does that have to do with anything about She-Hulk? Like, that's like saying, oh, Batman, the Dark Knight is bad because in this movie, Heath Ledger was in Brokeback Mountain. Like, it doesn't make a difference. Like, maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe I am missing it. But, all right, let's go.
Now that's comedy.
In a show written by middle-aged wine moms, they will never skip the opportunity to do something on modern dating, namely Tinder apps, which at this point If you're trying to find a serious
Oh wow, he didn't make fun of the fact that she asked her father, "What's the shovel for?" And he was like, "Don't worry about it." Okay, wow. He literally threatened to bury somebody who was messing with his baby girl. I, how is that non-testosterone? How is that like for real? For real? I, I, I guess I'm non-testosterone because like I won't. What's the best way of saying it? If somebody ever actually abused or assaulted my daughter, she would be calling me and asking me and crying. It's like, Dad, I'm sorry. They did something they wasn't supposed to. Now we have to hide the body. Like, seriously. That's the conversation we have. Not, I'm hurt and this person got away with it. It's like, no, how do we hide the body? Like, seriously, that's the conversation. And I know I am being law enforcement. I'm being hyperbolic. If there was an issue where somebody was hurt, I will report that crime. But let somebody hurt anybody in my life, it's not a question of if I need to do something. It's a question of where we gonna have the body. Okay, let's go.
relationship on a phone app, you are one step away from paying for a dating coach or matchmakers. Maybe that'll be next week's episode. Yum, yum.
Are you the woman who has everything except the...
Wait. I love the shitting on women who use dating apps, or the fact that they're using dating apps on the show where 80% of the people who are on dating apps are guys. Alright, let's go.
man she wants?
Oh no, an average guy who clearly doesn't know how to talk to women, and he isn't classically handsome. By the way, he's under 6 feet tall. Ooh.
I just feel like he's doing an episode review. Like he's actually doing this shit for an episode review. And he just doesn't know how to say like he likes the show. He watches the show, he likes the show, but he's doing an episode review. Like I just feel that that's all this is. But alright, let's go.
Gross, creepy.
Wow. See, that guy's exactly why I don't date.
Oh my God, you don't have to date that guy. Jesus. There are plenty of non-gross people out there for you to date.
Take notes, gentlemen. This is how modern women see you. This is toxic femininity.
Wait, again. How? Wait, I just don't. How? Again, if you're gonna talk about the show, you're gonna talk about the scene. Actually, have a conversation about it. I'm like, and then they did the exact same joke that motherfucking Will Smith did in Hitch. Like, she has a big "fuck off, I'm doing work" look on her face, and dude didn't get it. Okay. Hey, let's go. Let's go.
That's She-Hulk in a nutshell. The toxic feminist. It's like the toxic Avenger, but far less fun and interesting. Already, this show is ridiculous.
Okay, let's go.
Women swipe right 5 to 10% of the time, while men swipe right 50% of the time. The fact that Jen Walters' sidekick is swiping right on dudes like a drunken guy in a toilet, I guess they're doing for some sort of comedic effect. I'm going to predict what the rest of the episode will be. A dating montage.
This is an episode review. Oh my god. This is an episode review. He's actually watching the show. He's enjoying the show. But he's like, I don't like the fact that they did this. Oh shit. He really likes the show. That's why he watches. That's why he puts the video out every week. Oh my god. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Bill, She-Hulk comes across like a top 20% dude because the writing is that predictable. And then after they sleep together, there will be some sort of falling out because that makes men look like trash.
And then that's when the real filtering happens. Oof, hetero life is grim.
Nikki.
Heterosexual dating is grim. Well, I gotta say
It is. It fucking is. Imagine also being poly. Like, okay. Like, dude, like, it is. It's just fucked up. Heterosexual dating is fucked up. I'm sorry. When did that ever not be the case? Alright, let's go.
beats monkeypox and listening to It's Raining Men blasting for 24/7, but that's just my opinion.
Why does he go to that stereotype of being gay? Okay, let's go.
How very dare you?
And predictably, we're treated to the dating montage. On what planet would a lawyer date a bummy dude
Okay,
that
good.
never
Now,
happened?
let's repeat the non-conformist oath. I promise to be different.
I promise to be different.
I promise to be unique.
I promise to be unique.
I promise not to repeat things other people say.
What's up, Joe? Thank you for that subscription. But wait. If you guys remember a couple weeks ago, he actually called the actress that plays She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany, which is a phenomenal actress, a mid at best. He literally said that. And now he says, of course, what lawyer would date this? I understand the feeling. I understand the feeling. I hope you took the weekend to rest.
The last time a woman with a better job dated a normal guy who was like a plumber, it was literally a New York Post article because it was just that rare. Oh, by the way, this guy's obviously trash.
No, officer, that stroller hit me.
Wait, for real. This is the attitude that it's a Gundam. Like we literally did a video talking about it. What? Oh God! I think it was episode 2 that he reviewed that he's talking about this shit. All right, let's go.
And that's how I got a lifetime ban from Winnipeg, Canada. That's why I'm an entrepreneur.
Oh, in what field?
TBD.
And like literally, this is like a lot of. This is a lot of guys who's like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a motherfucking CEO of what company? Like, fuck. I can say that I'm a CEO of a fucking art company. Okay. Yes, it says the misery machine because he's that motherfucking deplorable with his shit. Let's go.
And that's kind of like the theme here. It's like Jennifer Walters is an allegory for most women in America being better than the men that they're forced to go on dates with because the quality of men is so low. Ugh.
No, a lot of guys don't try. Take it as somebody who's currently dating. You know what I do? You know why a lot of women like me? I talk to them. I treat them as people. Okay, yeah, I like to suck on their titties. But I do it for my pleasure and for theirs. But no, just the fact that I actually have a conversation, a real life conversation with a woman, it puts me on leaps and bounds where it shouldn't. Respect is not a motherfucking high bar. It's the bare necessity. But so many fucking guys, and it's not me shitting on guys. It's so many guys, they don't understand that if you talk to a woman, if you treat them with respect, acknowledge that you like them, they may like you and they may give you the sex. I'm sorry, that's just what happens. COVID fucked me over, but just dating, especially with somebody who doesn't have the best financial situation in the world, I still go on dates. Women still like me because I treat them well. And treating them well is, hey, how are you? How was your day? Good morning. How are you feeling? You were sexy. Can you sit your pussy on my face? Okay, let's get back to the video.
Patriarchy. While that dating scene with Jennifer Walters and some broke loseristic dude was a complete stretch even for the MCU.
No.
And I watched Thanos snap half of humanity out of existence. I mean, let's be real here. A woman paying for a date is so rare. And the dude...
A friend of mine, took me out to the Dragon Ball Super movie just recently. Dragon Ball Super hero. She paid. And that's not a brag or a flex. Like when we kick it, I cook breakfast. I mean, I cook dinner, and like sometimes she stays for breakfast. That's not a flex, dude. That's just when you have a woman who likes you. All right, let's go.
Dude makes absolutely no attempt to do it. He like reaches for his keys. Yes, this happens all the time. Get out of here. The last date I was on cost me $300.
Sex work is real work, so you should actually pay. You should tip your waitress. Sorry.
Including the tip because the girl I was with annoyed the living hell out of my waiter, and I didn't want them spitting in my food. She didn't even come close to offering to pay for anything either. She didn't even...
Maybe it's the women that you're trying to date. I'm just saying. Okay, let's go.
Didn't even hint at it. Nothing. You know what she did? She told me that the $50 tip was too much. But whoa, men are cheap pieces of garbage.
I mean, like, even the woman that I was interested in seeing would just turn into a friendship. When I took her out, I literally said, I take you out, I'm paying. You take me out, you paying. Whoever asks the other person out, they pay. Like, this is not something where it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't get this. And like, I fuck with, in a lot of cases, very relatively conservative women, even though I'm liberal as shit. But this is just like, this shit doesn't make sense to me because I don't know. Let's go.
This is Alan. Yeah, she's like a 6, maybe.
Watching this scene again, it kind of hit me in a different way. Why is it such a big thing for the guy to pay anyway if Jen Walters is a strong, independent feminist and has boss bitch energy? Why is it feminism gets to pick and choose when it's strong and independent? But then when someone breaks into the house, all of a sudden that energy's long gone. And be real.
The episode literally talked about how she don't need to worry about shit because she's a Hulk. It is a carryover from last week's episode where people tried to jump her and she's like, and then she turned to the Hulk and she fucked them over. What is your problem, dude? Okay, let's go.
Realistic, this dude would totally simp for her because he's real low on the attractive scale. He's like below average and she's average. So this dude will probably be...
Oh, now it's about she's average. Okay, let's go.
Over the moon to be on a date with. Once again, it's bad writing where all men are garbage. Like the average dude is just trash. That's what this show tells you.
No, he was just a piece of shit. And if you think that's average, then we know what your standards are. All right, let's go.
It's like 9 times out of 10 men are garbage in this show. Even Jen Walters' father is weak. Great.
He literally came into the house with a shovel. Who was like, wait, no, like, you called the sheriff? No, they didn't call the sheriff. But like, yeah, somebody happened with my baby girl. We gonna need a shovel. Like, not a phone to call the sheriff. We need a shovel. Like, how? Okay, let's go.
Hey, more dating montages with She-Hulk. Did the VFX artists just throw their hands in the air and not even bother at least changing She-Hulk's clothes? Or did she schedule all these dates the same day, back to back, one after another at the same table, like a 304? Because that's how it's coming off.
I'm in medicine.
Ooh, what's that, like code for selling Adderall?
I'm a pediatric.
I mean, like, that's a joke. Like, she's also was in the DA where people say, yeah, I'm in medicine. Like, I'm a street pharmaceutical. Like, that, like, oh my God. Okay, let's go.
Pediatric oncologist.
Oh.
Okay, this is the best part. A good-looking 6-foot-tall dude with abs who looks like a model is a pediatric oncologist. And I'm actually Spider-Man in my spare...
He doesn't get that people... Oh... He doesn't get that... Okay. Wait, what? Wait, he doesn't understand that this happens? Okay, let's go.
By the way, a pediatric oncologist is a physician whose special training and experience is to diagnose and treat blood disorders and cancer in children, teens, and young adults. So the odds of this guy being a pediatric oncologist is like finding gold in your backyard. But hey, he's different. He listens, because most men don't listen to women.
But they don't. Like, seriously, we just had this conversation. Okay. Fuck. I like, just this conversation about the fact that this happens. Like, I don't think I do anything special, especially with dating. But this shit is starting to, like, is it because okay. Damn. Fuck.
Women, by the way, because men are garbage. Oh, he's a sensitive man. He's reading The Bad Feminist. The fact these sorts of books are flashed in the show at all tells you all you need to know about.
He's mad. They put this shit in there to trigger you guys. They do it to trigger you. Don't you get it so far? Okay, let's go.
The show itself. Granted, Bad Feminist isn't harmful, but it isn't great either. It has the usual tropes of feminist writing. Women need equal pay and protection. We need more inclusivity in feminism, which basically means more trans representation in feminism, which is a whole other can of worms and a war that's going on we're not getting into.
Like, literally, you talk about the fact that they say that bad feminism is literally a bad thing, but yet, like, his whole idea is like, this is toxic feminist. Like, yeah, they have a book saying bad feminism. Like, the fuck? Okay, alright, let's go, fuck. Wow, you are just sticking to, like, I can never understand the whole thing of just, like, sticking to a subject, a bad point, like, they're just wrong because they're on the wrong side. Like, no, I give people their props if they're on my side of the argument, not just because politically, but no, if they're, I will take the win. But he can't. He has to say, because, bad feminist, even though it talks about some of the same shit in bad feminist characteristics that I talk about, still, feminist bad. Like, okay, let's go, motherfucker.
Feminism only benefits white middle-class women. It's like a splinter cell faction of the feminist movement. I'm not going to give you a dissertation or my views on it so far, because I'm here to entertain you.
He is really upfront. Yeah, I'm not gonna teach you as bad. I'm just gonna say it's bad, and I'm gonna entertain you because reasons.
Not lecture you, you bigot. No! Finally, we're treated to an action scene that resolves the crappy magician's story arc. Not exactly what I'd want, you know, like a She-Hulk fight scene I'm picturing with Titana and cars and trucks are being chucked around. You're not getting that.
Wait, and these are the same people that say that they're tired of the MCU and shit like that. This is literally Ally McBeal with superheroes. I could be wrong, but I think that the character only has reading a book to impress She-Hulk. I'll get back to that because I've heard conversations. I've heard conversations about that. No, you know what? I'll get to it right now. So, here. So, a lot of people made arguments that dude was a bad guy and that he kind of played her to try to get inside of the She-Hulk's panties. I don't take his character as that, and it's just going into the other episode. I really think he's a guy that likes strong women. I now, just to be like, oh yeah, he didn't like Jen. Okay, but he likes She-Hulk. They are different portrayals of the same person. Jen is small and closed off and makes herself smaller. I don't like women like that either. And not to say that I'm like big, bombastic, like, look at me, women. No, but it's like, yeah, with She-Hulk, she looks more comfortable. She looks more confident. She acts more confident. I can't blame him for liking that. I just can't. Does that mean that he's doing a player type shit? Like, but Death by Smooth is fun. I'm just saying, if you haven't had sex with a woman who likes to take charge just as much as you do in the bedroom, you're missing out. Because for some reason, women like that just love to do Kegels. And oh my god, just come in with somebody. Okay, let's get back to the video. Shh, I've said too much.
Jamila can barely pick up her coffee latte, let alone a vehicle. Well, basically, after that, She-Hulk gets laid.
Not like it's a CGI special effects. All right, let's go.
Sassy, give us the dirty deets, girlfriend. And then the doctor sees her the next morning in her human form, which, realistically, she would totally be a pump and dump for this type of dude in IRL. Hey, I don't make the rules, you do, ladies. But this is a play on men as a whole, having a one-night stand with a woman and then waking up and seeing her without her makeup, and then he books out. Because
No, she literally was small and just a different portrayal of who she was. I actually like the She-Hulk character. So when this clown is going to sing "It's a man's world," yeah, no, like I actually like the portrayal of She-Hulk character. I've actually always liked her in the comics because she doesn't take shit, and she is somebody who, like, it's the contrast between her and Bruce. The contrast between her and Bruce is Bruce, because he has ZID, doesn't know how to handle the situation with the Hulk. But the She-Hulk, it just made Jennifer Walters just like, oh, wait, I can really be this person? And that's in every iteration of She-Hulk that you see. You go from Jen Walters, who's kind of shy, kind of a nerdy, kind of a quiet person, to She-Hulk, to just like, I have green and penetrable skin. Fuck you. Listen to me. Like, yeah, no, She-Hulk is just like fucking awesome. Even in the most recent runs where she became the Winter Soldier, and she like totally fucks with somebody to think that she's out of control, red skin and blonde hair. Like, no, she just, that's who She-Hulk is. She was the original troll before Deadpool in the Marvel universe, and that's okay. I want her to be more like that. I want her to be more like that. If you saw episode 5, she starts to be more like that. But let's go.
Because this is toxic masculinity and not false advertisement. I forgot to mention the Twitter stands were in full effect for the specific episode of She-Hulk, because many people pointed out the likelihood of a woman who looked like the star of She-Hulk getting that buff, good-looking dude was slim and next to none.
Tatiana Maslany, not exactly my type because she's a little small, but I don't know. I don't know. Depends on how you carry yourself. You can literally be more physically imposing. Just like I keep going back to her portrayals of her different characters in Orphan Black. There is a noticeable difference. Like, noticeable difference. I mean, like, night and day difference between the character that she played as Sarah Manning and Allison Hendricks. Noticeable difference. Same actress, but the way Sarah carried herself versus Allison, even though Allison has some issues, there is a noticeable difference between the two of them. And she's not a big person, but yeah, let's go.
Of course, the Twitter stands rush to their queen's defense. This is kind of like the Twitch thought simpery that you're used to, but now it's for celebrities on fledgling TV shows.
Yeah, we haven't seen celebrity fuckers before. Okay, let's go.
That odds are will be forgotten in 10 years, except for when a new one comes out and everyone pretends like the show is groundbreaking when it was really...
This is just literally just shape. Okay, I'm done. Hey, Peter, where you at?
Done.
I don't know what else to say, guys. It's like, he obviously likes to watch a show. And yes, he's playing it up for his audience, but he likes to watch a show. It's no other thing about it. He really likes to watch a show. And I that's fine. If you like to watch a show, cool. You can watch a show. But, like, stop shitting in people's Cheerios because you need to make a quick buck for your audience. I personally find the show funny. As somebody who used to watch Boston Legal and Ally McBeal to an extent, because after so long there were no other motherfucking cartoons on TV. So yeah, I was like 14, 15 watching these motherfucking shows. Oh fuck. Yes, and I watched Cheers. I know this shit. Like, I watched these shit. And yes, this is just literally just Ally McBeal with superheroes. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. I know what to say. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video when it comes out. And like, yeah. I don't know what else to say. Cut the video segment here. All right, all right. We're gonna do 2 more videos, and then we're gonna get to the penultimate videos. Oh god, and I can't wait. Like, I have an episode. Like, okay. So I actually have a schedule of shit that I have to watch every week. All right, so Mondays are usually YouTube gym Stephanie Sterling days, the Gymquisition. On Tuesdays are usually like I watch Blind Waves because like I've actually watched the content that they've already responded to, and like now, here TV was more fun when I was a kid. Lost in Space, Time Tunnel, Star Trek, Wild Wild West, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Batman, Green Hornet, The Invaders, and how many of those shows have Hollywood have tried to make new remakes of and fucked them over? Yeah, mostly all of them. But what was I saying? So now I watched the Normies' reaction to Naruto, which is winding down. Well, not really winding down. They have another 400 episodes. Nobody needs to tell them. Yes, and some of them are fillers, but they have another 400 episodes, and somebody needs to tell them. I watch Tuesdays like Code Geass from the Normies. What else? Blind Wave. They're doing Doctor Stone, which is the Stone Wars, and they're doing Naruto Shippuden. Wednesdays is the Normies does Code Geass, which is gonna wind down. Wednesdays is again like the Normies. Wednesdays it used to be a couple other people, but like now it's like and then there was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which was cheesy and put together. If you remember C-Lab took over with Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. It wasn't a direct correlation. But it gave you that same exploration. Not C-Lab. Was it C-Lab? It was that fucking like WGN show with people. They had a talking dolphin and shit like that. Thursdays, She-Hulk. Like I fucking love She-Hulk, and also another anime show called The Devil is a Part-Timer. So I actually have a schedule. And Fridays is Big D Casting. Oh my god. So, yes, Sequest, that's what it was. Sequest. Big D Casting, like, takes, like, scrap. It actually melts them down into bars. Like, I have a, like, whole motherfucking weekly schedule of shit that I need to watch. And I feel like such a fucking... Like, even though they're on different platforms, I feel like I've actually gotten my scheduling back. And sometimes it may change. I may add other shows. But yeah, I actually have a schedule. And I feel good about myself now. Alright, so... I've officially nerded out on my schedule. Let's get to another video. Here. Now, I haven't watched this shit. Alright, let's go. Alright, so hi guys. This is Crimson. And if you haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps my channel. I don't look, write a comment, it helps engagement. If you find this video to be abhorrent, tell me about it. Tell me about myself. Tell me why you don't like this video. Usually I'm going to laugh at you and then write something snarky back at you. But hey, you do you. So, I haven't really covered this person before. And, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Just by the opening shot alone. So, let's go.
Here's a story from my...
Yeah, no, this is the open shot. This is the opening shot. I don't know what else to say, but this is the opening shot. Yeah. I only look that way in one reason. Okay, let's go.
Subscriber. I'm a right-leaning guy. I was born in California, and I'm still living here. Personally, I went MGTOW several years before I had even heard of the term.
How do you... Oh my god. Okay. So, you can be a man going your own way. But to accept that titling of MGTOW is pretty fucking stupid. Alright, let's go.
I just had too many betrayals with women, and I was tired of dealing with their mess, so I just went MGTOW full time. I found your content, and it also helped me solidify my decision. There are several things that I've noticed about women.
Maybe it's the type of women that you're choosing. Alright, let's go.
In fact, I noticed them right after I went MGTOW. I noticed that I was getting more and more attention from women at work and outside. Places where women would even have bothered to talk to me before. It was absolutely mind-blowing at first. Sometimes they even stutter when they talk to me. But now the game is flipped. They need to prove they're worthy of my attention, and most of the time my poker face makes them stumble.
So this is masturbatory. That, oh yeah, when I went MGTOW, women want me more. No, they're probably scared that you're gonna go shoot up a yoga studio. I mean, like, the fuck? Alright, let's go. Let's go.
And second guess themselves. I can say that I've also been approached by some 9s now, even though I only dated 5s before. All this is just making me realize—
Wait, what are 9s, what are 5s? What the fuck does that mean? I'm sorry. Everybody that knows me in real life knows that I want a big titty goth girl that likes anime. Like, the fuck? It doesn't matter if she's black, she's white, like, I just want a big titty goth girl who likes anime. I was like, okay. Why? What? What is the difference between a 5 and a 9? What? Is it cup size? Like, I don't get the whole ranking system on somebody's looks. Like, can we make out? Can she suck a penis? Does her vagina have a good taste to it? Like, okay, like, how do you rate women like that? Alright, let's go.
How much of a fool I was for setting with women that weren't right. Initially, I thought I'd get some backlash by my new style of living, but it's been amazing so far, and even some women have been agreeing with me. I don't go out on weekends either.
Dude, these double D's drops. Oh, throw some D's on it. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Look, I can deal with some respectable C's. I just have to have. All right, let's go. And I know I'm just making fun of this shit because it's just masturbatory. Like, aha, I turned MGTOW and women want me even more now. No, the fuck they don't. All right, let's go.
And any extra hours I get, I put into the gym or read a book or something. I just have to say it's 100% worth it. I feel so free, and the time I have is so much compared to my married friends and the times I had girlfriends. With girlfriends, half the time you're chatting with them or listening to them complain about life. Even a few guys have told me that they wish they could do that with their life instead of organizing their life around women. When
I date. I find time in my schedule. The only time I don't really have time for my schedule is when I'm doing this YouTube shit. But in the morning, I get the fuck up. I go do my motherfucking half an hour walk in my bike ride. That fucking workout. I have a workout machine that is right fucking here to my left that I use. It's time management, motherfucker. I don't get why that's so hard. And here, if you're with somebody, and look, I'm gonna explain this to you. If you are with somebody, they should accept you if you're doing something to improve yourself. If they don't, I like positively improve yourself versus it's like, oh, I'm gonna just be like a need and shit like that. No, that's what they do. Like, you don't have to spend every waking moment with that person. It doesn't make sense because they're never gonna see it. They're never gonna see that a positive increase in motherfucking your well-being and in your outlook on life is actually beneficial. But yeah, okay, let's go.
I talked to them about MGTOW, they also started agreeing with me, and it's something that makes sense to a lot of them. When people started asking me why there wasn't a female in my life, or why I was single, I just said that I'm tired or looking, and one day I just said, I'll just live like this. So that's my story. I think it's a very nice example of someone who was able to increase his value simply by ignoring women. I bet that if you started giving those women attention, especially the 9s and 10s, they would immediately lose interest.
That's not how it works.
That's not how any of this works.
That's not how this works. That's now, okay, all right, let's go.
That's just how women are, unfortunately. What really happens?
If you think that not giving people attention abusively, like just like, I'm gonna hold back my attention to make them want me more. If you think that's healthy as a relationship, that it's not. It's very, 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 very toxic. That's not a good thing. That's not how this should actually work. But let's go.
Is that women have it hard to believe that some men would just reject them. It's not something that really happens. No straight man ever rejects a woman, and so when it happens to them, they're caught by surprise.
I'm not gonna say that like I want to say it. I'm gonna rephrase it. There are certain women who are used to the only attention they get from men is they want to stick their dick inside of it. And they have been conditioned to believe that's how a man actually shows that he likes you. It is hard for them to understand the respect that somebody may have. And even if they may find them attractive, it's like, oh no, I find you attractive, but I don't just want to stick my dick inside of you. I may like you, or I don't want to stick my dick inside of you. Even though you're attractive, it's fine. You don't have to give me your pussy to make me like you. You can just be a cool person. And I understand that there are a lot of women who have had life experiences that had led them to believe that no, they need to give men pussy in order for them to like them. No, that's not the case all the time. You can actually just be a guy that treats women with respect, even if you do find them attractive. But let's go.
It makes them want what they can't have. Most women like these are also the ones with daddy issues. Maybe their father wasn't around much and they overcompensate by making attempts.
Then why would you want to be with them, man? If you know they already have issues, why would you want to be with them? But let's go.
To look good. So when the man ignores her, her childhood memories are triggered. She remembers how she was unacknowledged and they are more interested. They are dying with curiosity to know why that man is not interested and ignoring her like that. Women have a whole crisis when a man ignores them like that.
Says the MGTOW channel, who's talking about how women ignore him and they go into shutdown mode. Because that's all it is. Okay, let's go.
They think to themselves, if I'm not enough for this guy, maybe I'm not enough for other men as well. They will also blame.
So this is just the new form of nagging. That's all it is. All right, let's go.
Being gay and project their insecurities onto you. In a nutshell, ignoring women just breaks a brain. They will want to prove themselves to you. And when you're single, happy and doing well in your life, it's like carrying around a mirror that reflects women's insecurities back to themselves. In fact, women do everything in their power to not let men like these go out and spread the facts about female nature. For example, when men go monk mode and talk about women nature, most women get defensive and even call men a women hater or other.
Because they just reply women hating shit. So here's the thing: I never hear from these motherfucking MGTOWs like, yeah, society is kind of fucked up. It kind of leads women to act a certain way, and it leads men to a certain way. It's always, it's the bitch's fault. It's their fault. The whores, they are used to getting so many dicks, and they just don't want their tiny dicks. Like the fuck, like if you have a problem with the way society socializes men and women, say that. But when it's only just the women are whores and they're bad and they're evil and they treat men like shit, then it kind of tells us where your motherfucking vitriol is. But let's go.
Things like that. They blame men for not making women a part of their life. In a way, they're scared of the damage you can cause as a happy bachelor. You're damaging their prospects of getting a nice mate. As for the women that agree with this guy and tell him that his lifestyle is fine, what they're actually doing is validating him. They want to sow the seeds of a relationship because he is just so unapproachable now, and a woman, especially a good-looking one, can't bear that. It throws her entire world in crisis.
How? Okay. Maybe he's gonna explain how it throws her world in crisis that a guy that may not want to see her sexually. Like, I know it's a projection that men have been socialized to believe that if somebody likes you, then they want to fuck you. and that's what they think. But sometimes people can be around you because they like you. They may not want to actually have sex with you. Even they may even find you attractive, but they may not want to have sex with you, and that's fine. You know, so people have more than two emotions, angry and horny, and as you can actually hear, he's just projecting that women should only have, don't, when it comes to interacting with men, they only have two emotions: horny and angry, or upset that the man doesn't want to fuck them. This is just projection. Well, let's go.
It's like that for a straight male to reject her. It makes her doubt the number one biggest power she has. Her internal feelings never change. She's out there agreeing with you that inside she's going crazy over the fact that a man is ignoring her. Most of the time, it will also demonize you like I mentioned above. You will say that you aren't chasing women anymore, or you're going MGTOW, and they will automatically equate it to hating women.
Yeah, again, if you actually have to say that I'm a man going my own way, versus just saying like, I just don't like the current situation of dating, and I think it's kind of harmful and hurtful to both men and women. That's different than saying I'm just going my own way. Shit, I'm going my own way and I'm fucking dating a lot. Like, I don't get that part. I don't understand it. Because it just sounds as if you want to blame women for all the problems that goes on in dating, where a lot of the guys share a lot of blame too. I'm not going to throw percentages, but some of the fault that goes on in dating is a lot of guys' fault too. But you don't want to talk about that because it ruins the argument that it's only just women. No, motherfucker, that's not just it. But let's go.
Women are actually trying to quarantine men like these so their message doesn't spread around and damage their reputations. That's also why using the term MGTOW will get you demonetized. Using it in the tag's descriptions anywhere will make YouTube remove the ad revenue from your video.
Are you doing this to help men, or are you doing it for the ad revenue? Oh, okay, let's go.
YouTube has a lot of women working there. Even the CEO.
See, this is the shit that I'm talking about. It's literally look at the women are bad because they're trying to silence the man. Literally, my feed is full of MGTOW and red pill channels. It is not silenced. You guys are not fucking silenced. Okay, let's go.
Is a woman. You can imagine what kind of rules will be implemented if you have women running the place. As for this
what rules? What rules? What fucking rules? Can you explain those rules? Alright, let's go.
Subscriber's story, there isn't a lot of backlash because he isn't out there spreading the word. In their opinion, he's an isolated male who has no real way of conveying to men how he feels or thinks. You know what I think? I think MGTOW has existed forever. The difference is now that...
Yeah, they're called hermits. That, like, people live in the woods by themselves and had so many blisters on their hands and dicks from touching themselves because they fucking horny. And out here, they used to be motherfucking mass murderers. Let's go.
It has developed its own philosophy and its own language and acronyms because all of its supporters came together and spread the word through the internet. That's actually the part which women have trouble with. Us getting everything together and making the movement organized.
Hey, every village has its own idiot. Now they can talk to each other. Fuck. Alright, let's go.
Gossip and ideas move very fast in the internet age. Women know best how effective gossip is to spread ideas and hijack the discussion. They know that gossip that targets them is even more dangerous by dropping their worth in the world. It's something that makes them less desirable and reduces their ability to attract white knights towards themselves.
How? I'm confused.
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
What does the internet have anything to do with white knights and all that other good shit? Okay, let's go. It just makes no sense because it's almost as if they're just upset that, hey, women have choices now. Now they guys. I don't know if you know this, but you have choices too. All right, let's go.
In the past, they could shame a man into getting married, but he would always have authority over his family. Today, you could shame a man into getting married, and the authorities could take away his family. But smart and successful men are slowly realizing all the movements and the laws that go against them.
Yeah, because women used to be treated like property, you dumb fuck. Does he not realize that shit? Women used to be treated like property. Like, up until like the 1970s, they couldn't get a credit card in their name alone. Like, all right, let's go. And the thing about it is, a lot of this shit is I don't want to have to try to be better. I don't want to have to compete with myself to be better. I just want shit handed to me. As much these mediocre motherfucking idiots they are, they don't want to try. That's the reason why they have a problem with black people or even women actually being in charge of shit, because they want a situation where they don't have to try. They don't want to have. They don't want to have to try. What the fuck? I have to try. Justify my place in leadership in a hierarchy, because I will tell you this: even in anarchy, there are hierarchies, but people have to justify that. And a lot of these people don't want to justify; they just want the part. But let's go.
These are the high and demand men, and the ones that put in the most work. They're smart enough to not destroy their lives over women, or they could be focusing on being top 20% instead. They could grow their careers in physical fitness. Women with options have the most reasons to be against MGTOW. Women like these are the top radicalizing women through feminist movements. I think
if you give women confidence and you give yourself confidence, there's a chance that confident people are attracted to other confident people. Let's go.
It's great that he now has more time to read books and enjoy his life. He has time to work out, and everything that he's doing is improving his life.
That's masturbatory. That is just literally masturbatory. Like, you're not getting buff and big and fit like that in the gym for a fucking woman. You're doing it for yourself. All right, let's go. All right, let's go.
He's putting his time to more productive use, while the couples are out there doing overtime to buy a house and bickering over their lives. He's out there enriching his vocabulary and getting a six-pack, while the married guy is going through hell just to get laid once a week. Modern society is...
You know, sometimes, you can tell what type of relationships these motherfuckers had. Oh my god. And they just... You can tell the type of relationships that they had. Even when my marriage was actually going decent, I was getting sex more than once a week. I don't know what else to tell these guys, but maybe try having a relationship with somebody. I don't know, but let's go.
It's actually trying to increase the cost of a single man in our society, so more people don't take this option. That's why I recommend all men to get some sort of side gig in their free time to enjoy their life. If you can kill two birds with one stone, that would be perfect. No. Get a hobby,
but never keep some of yourself. Like, and this is the shit. This is hustle culture. This Sigma grind set bullshit. I don't. Okay. Look, check it out. Check this out.
Done.
Video's almost over anyway. This shit is just like it. Like I said, this is such a masturbatory motherfucking video. Oh, my subscriber actually said this, and it's just like, no, dude. Like, they probably pulled this out of their ass. Now, are there times where women approach me or talk to me in a way where it's just like, yo, motherfucker, like, and then they see the gray and shit, they see the lots of shit. It's like, damn, I want to really motherfucking ride this man's face, and they actually like being around me because I'm not an asshole. Yeah, of course, but I don't just I flex the fact that I'm caring and understanding and kind and creative, and I have dreams that not just consist of just want to work and working a lot of but that's just ambition. Like, that's just ambition, and ambition makes people so horny, both men and women. Anyway, we're gonna cut this video segment here. Remember, like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 800 subscribers by the end of this month. We have about 20 more days. No, not 20 more days. 10 more days. Let's get that 800 subscribers. And let's cut it here. My energy is going down, so I feel like I should work on the last video. This is going to take some time. So, yeah, I think I should just go ahead and work on this video. Because reasons. All right. All right, let's do that. Also, the final video for the night, and then we're gonna actually shut it down. I'm gonna probably do some gaming. Hey, I beat Subnautical below zero, and I really like. Yeah, really, that's the thing that happened. I know I was supposed to stream it, but yeah. God of War Ragnarok is coming out, and maybe with you guys' help, hint hint, donate. I can actually buy a copy of God of War Ragnarok. Hint hint, hint hint, hint hint. All right, let's go. We're gonna do this final video. Okay. So I know that I won't win a lot of fucking I won't win in a lot of fucking lefty content spaces. And I know why. Because a lot of these people actually wear leftyism as a kind of like an aesthetic to actually say, look what I am. And it's very degrading, and it's very just like, come on, dude. You just have some reactionary tendencies. And especially after the whole debate, bro, with FD signifier, I saw some people jumping on his bandwagon, and I was like, maybe we shouldn't. And then I realized that this was somebody who I had to take a look at some of their other content. Now, I had planned on doing this video like a week and a half ago, and I actually had a Discord chat with our favorite contrarian motherfucker, Vegeta. And I was like, man, I really need to do this video. Now, mind you, he has his own channel. He's done some editing for me. And yeah, if we can get to that 800 subscriber count, like, share, and subscribe, we can actually probably start paying him for at least part-time for doing some video editing and making sure that, you know, the channel can actually get good. By the way, like, share, and subscribe. But I showed him this video, and yeah, this was the thing that we had, and we actually had the conversation, and I literally saw him putting in the work for this, and wow, I didn't realize how great he was at writing this video. And the comment is here, and I'm going to be going over some of the same things because I was there when we were actually reviewing it. But the comment is here, and just to give you guys a heads up about the things with this video. Let's just look at this. This is my man's comment. Yeah, this is my man's comment. With the fucking with the actual timestamps and everything. And like, I'm stealing his content. I am stealing his content that he originally stole from me. But let's go. Why aren't there more black socialists? Easy, because black people think that capitalism is going to win. But you can't fight fire with fire. You have to fight fire with water. But let's go. Like, simple answers to the video.
The Democratic Socialists of America, or DSA, is the largest socialist organization in the United States, with almost 100,000 members, the vast majority of whom joined in the last 7 years.
Okay. Young, active, political people. That's a thing. Like, it's just, this is a thing. Yeah, that's what happened. The election of Barack Obama after the financial crisis has led to a more prominent socialist push, especially with the candidacy of Bernie Sanders. It's not that hard to actually really come down to it. But let's go.
Socialists continue to fight an uphill battle for relevance in America, but there's no doubt they've been having a moment for the past few years, almost certainly sparked by the sudden popularity of Senator Bernie Sanders, who I'll talk about later. The vast majority of DSA members, however...
So, this is a breakdown. So, what does this have to do with anything? Anything at all? So, wait. A majority are millennials who are just getting into the political commentary, and these are mostly younger millennials. Boomers, Gen X, Gen Z, and then Gen Alpha. Wait, this is just a changing demographic of politics that's happening in the country. All right, let's go.
Are straight, cis, white male millennials. It is decidedly white up in there. Now, not every American socialist is a...
Also, because black people have been fed the lie that capitalism will actually save the black community. Look at the prominence of a lot of rich black people. Like, no, that's not a thing. Like, it is a real issue where we're taught that capitalist economics is going to save us, when capitalist economics have brought us into this fucked up system that we're in. But let's go.
Member of DSA, but many people have made the argument that these lefties have a bit of a diversity problem. For some masochistic reason, I've decided to talk about that today. That's what...
Because you are not really trying to solve the problem. You're just trying to highlight, look at these, I hate to say it like this, it's more of a look at these cringy white people who are in the DSA. I'm surprised he doesn't show that cringy ass video, but let's go.
This video is about. This video is sponsored by the Curiosity Stream and Nebula Bundle. Nebula, I like interesting or original content. We do thought-provoking how the guide economics so well that we use my code, offering you guys both curiosity. Hi, I'm T1J.
Follow me.
Growing up, my family mostly lived in urban, lower-income, all-black neighborhoods, also known as the Hood. When I was a little kid, I just enjoyed life and played with my G.I. Joes or my NES, but over time, I realized that those video games I love...
What does this have anything to do with the situation, other than saying that we were tricked at saying capitalism is good for us? Here, coming from me who belonged to the YPLS in the Socialist Party as a kid, and I was one of the original Socialist Party member who went to who went with Harrington to form the Democratic Socialist Organization Committee that merged to the new movement to become the DSA. Like, what kills me is it never acknowledges the problem with these people. They never acknowledge the problem. They just want to complain about the shit. But let's go.
Love so much weren't pulled from thin air by my parents. They cost money. And although my parents worked very hard to give me and my siblings as comfortable a life as possible, I became acutely aware of the fact that my family didn't have all that much money compared to some other folks. And I wanted to figure out how to fix that, not only for myself and my family, but other people in the community. Trying to
push a more just economic system. Push a more just economic system. Push a more just economic system. That's just simple. It is literally that simple. But no. Yo, grind. Rise and grind. Let's rise and grind.
Find a good job was a potential option. I could conceive of the possibility that not all black people were broke, but every adult in my community had traditional jobs, many of whom seemed very intelligent and hardworking, and they still mostly struggled and sacrificed.
So push for a better economic system that helps everybody. Push for a better economic system that helps everybody. Yeah, his answer is libertarianism. Yeah, exactly.
I was skeptical of that one off the jump. Now, when you're a young black boy in the hood and you're looking for black people to study and emulate who made better lives for themselves, you might recall that there's plenty of wealthy black rappers, singers, actors, comedians.
And I never wanted to be any of them. Like, like this is, it's so limited in scope of your imagination of who you want to be. If you think I just want to be rich versus saying like, no, this shit is fucked up. This shit is broken. How do we fix this shit? You don't care about other people. You just care about yourself and maybe your immediate family. But let's go.
Comedians, athletes, and other celebrities. Some of those folks started out in the hood and found a way to get some white folks to give them a shit ton of money. And
this is the problem. If you look at it that way, this is the problem. Maybe because I was always one of those, fuck, why do we have to do this, kids? Fuck, why do we have to just stand in these confines, kids? Maybe because I was always one of those kids, I just don't get this whole idea like, oh, you gotta change the system from inside the system, inside the belly of the beast. But let's go.
these folks weren't just living well, they were thriving and taking care of their families and communities and enjoying.
No, they're not taking care of their communities. They were taking care of their immediate families, but they weren't taking care of their communities. They weren't. Motherfucker, I was there when some of these motherfuckers, they weren't taking care of their communities. Ask Jay-Z how he tried to start a cryptocurrency school in the Mossy Projects after crypto was already fell.
Enjoying the finer things in life. As I grew older, I learned more about politics and the economy and government corruption.
And yet you're still looking at things with the myopic lens of a teenager. I want nice things. All right, let's go.
And corporate greed. And I realized that it would take major systemic reform to even begin to tackle the problem of poverty in general, much less that's within the black community. Black people were never going to rap or slam dunk their way out of poverty.
So you recognize what the problem is, but you're just like, nah, fuck it, we're just gonna still try to do that shit. All right, let's go.
Can't all be Denzel or Jay-Z or Oprah, and we shouldn't have to be. Whether or not we get to keep our lights on should not depend on our ability to entertain white people.
Says the guy with the YouTube channel. All right, let's go. Let's go. But and I know I'm seeming to be harsh, but this is just that projection that I'm talking about. Instead, like, he is proving right now why it's hard to get out a message that maybe we should do socialism. Maybe we should do socialism. We're not talking about the whole authoritarian Marxist Leninist bullshit. I'm talking about
animals are innocent. Don't be.
Thank you for signing up, for subscribing. But maybe we should do socialism. You know, the system that has more economic rights for workers, that has more, just allows for more people to, I don't know, take advantage of or take more access to the wealth and income that we have in this country instead of it going to the top 1%. But let's go. It's like, here, he mentions the point where he's like, you can't rap or sing or act. We literally had the Jay-Z Twitter call thing where he's like, yo, why you calling me a capitalist? That's like calling a black person the N-word. Where Jay-Z literally has a fucking aside, a fucking interlude where he's talking about how people get taken advantage by the record company and how we taken advantage because of the fucking, all of these motherfucking predatory instincts that take advantage of young rappers' careers. And now he has title and now he isn't. That's why. Because they don't believe in the bullshit of, oh, we need to fucking get rid of the system. They just don't want to be the targets of the fucked up ass system. But let's go.
The fact remained, that was pretty much the only solution to black poverty that I had ever seen work in real life. And that's honestly kind of still the case.
No, it's not. It's the one that takes the least amount of effort. Changing the system takes a lot of effort. It takes buy-in, and a lot of people don't want that buy-in. But let's go.
Tried and true methods of wealth production either require you to already have money, like investing or starting your own.
Again! Wow! Again! Here's where the problem is. If you're framing it as I need to be rich in the current system that is fucking most people over, you're pointing to the exceptions, not the rule. You're literally saying, I don't give a fuck about other people in this situation. What can help me? Well, let's go.
Own business, which is very difficult for most poor people, or they require you to have or be willing and able to develop a marketable skill that someone will pay you large amounts of money for, like being a great lawyer or athlete, which is very often expensive itself.
Does he not realize he's doing the thing? Does he not realize he's really doing the thing? Does he not realize he's doing the thing? But let's go.
If you have to pay for education and training, and is arguably harder to pull off because it often requires a lot of good luck and being in the right place at the right time. You might be able to sing and dance just like Beyonce, but if your daddy works 2 jobs and your mama's old beat up car won't start, you might not make it to that important audition. The systems of building wealth in America are usually out of reach for poor and working class people.
So I don't know, most of these videos are like, why not change the system? Why not change the system? But that's just it. You're advocating to stay in this myopic view, this myopic system, because it's easy and you may get a chance. Or you kind of already have your chance. But let's go.
And often middle-class people as well. And it's even more difficult for black people who are essentially starting from behind due to America's legacy of racism and oppression. And I think it's clear that's at least partially by design. Rich people have demonstrated over time that by and large, they like getting richer, but they can't get richer if everyone else is also getting richer. There are a lot of resources available, absolutely, but it is still a finite amount. And one of the most valuable
and playing into the capitalism. What resource? Money is not a finite amount. We fucking made it up. All right, let's go.
Resources that wealthy people have is political power, especially in America, which has legalized unlimited donations to organizations associated with political campaigns and literally bribing sitting legislators. All this is utilized to mold.
So you're literally saying that you can't out-capitalize, outspend, out-own all of this system. So why not change the fucking system? That's just it. You know what the problem is in the system. Again, it's more of it's not that I don't like the system. I just don't like being the target of it. But let's continue.
The laws of the land, which among other awful things ensures that most wealth continues to be funneled to the already wealthy. In my opinion, this is one of the most problematic aspects of capitalism, and anyone who wishes to preserve capitalism would need to provide a cogent solution to this. But this whole time in the background, there were these little voices, little hands raising up in the back of the class. Well, if this system is so bad and causes so much inequality, why don't we do a different one? No one really took these voices too seriously, and depending on what era of history it was, saying shit like that could literally be considered treason. But with the advent of the internet and social media, these voices got louder and more organized. And as political corruption and the obvious failings of American capitalism kept being put on full display over and over again, these people started to sound a little more persuasive. If Twitter were any indication of the state of society, which it is not, thank God, you might think these people were now the majority. But yeah.
Does he realize that he's in this bubble? Does he? Okay. And that's another reason, and I'm going to actually say this. And here, let me just bring it in close for it. And I'm going to actually say this. One of the reasons why more black people aren't more socially progressive, aren't more economically progressive, is because of lack of access to technology where we communicate. One of the things that did lead me down my progressive journey is I had cable and I had internet. My house was an early internet adapter, so plus I went to a high school where we had access to the internet. So if you don't have access to the resources of learning and have not been encouraged to do extracurricular activities, if you've just been encouraged to learn enough for the job that you have, or learn enough just to make it through the world, yeah, of course, you're not going to find that love of just learning. And I want, and I keep saying it, and I keep saying it, and I keep saying it, I want more black people to interact with YouTube and Twitch and all the other good shit. even people that I disagree with, I want them to be able to get in spaces and talk to people outside of their community, outside of their comfort group, to one, promote the idea that, we're people, but two, so they can actually interact and learn about other interactions with other people. So yeah, a technological barrier does actually exist, and with technology being cheaper and more affordable, and internet being more affordable and more open, I hope that change happens, and we have more or less conservative black people. I know that doesn't sound right, but let's continue.
Maybe we do need to do something different. The rising popularity of Bernie Sanders should be remembered as a pivotal arc in American history, in my opinion. Bernie Sanders is a United States senator who is known for his long history of championing socially and economically progressive policies like single-payer healthcare, free college, and workplace democracy.
All of which would help black people. No, like that is just it. It's all of that would actually help black people. One of my things that I've always said, we need Medicare for all with the mental health component, workplace democracy, which would allow for more people to have economic freedom and increase their wage and decrease the motherfucking wage gap that has actually grown. And if government paid college, more education. But that's a problem for some reason. Let's go.
He ran for president twice, and although he failed to secure the nomination both times, his unexpected popularity was remarkable and unprecedented. It's not that his views and positions are so groundbreaking. There have been plenty of American political figures with similar or more radical views, and a lot of Sanders' policy proposals have already been on the books in other countries for years. But Bernie Sanders somehow managed to craft an unambiguous, uncompromising platform of social democracy and make the people of the United States, as well as the mainstream media, take it seriously. I don't know that anyone else had done that before. Like, for example, in 2009, newly elected President Barack Obama was trying to garner support for the healthcare bill that quickly became known as Obamacare. The main point of the bill was to expand access to health insurance.
And it was just Romney care on the federal level. That's it.
It didn't make health insurance free. It didn't even really make it cheaper for most people. It just made it so that more people had it, which I think.
And again, it literally was just Romney care on a federal level. It was nowhere near socialist. But let's go.
It's still better than how it was before. That's just me though. Obama and his allies had a lot of trouble selling this to Congress, even to Democrats, and they were forced to make a lot of concessions, notably including the removal of a public healthcare option, which would have provided cheap, if not free healthcare for those having trouble paying for private health insurance, and could have potentially forced private companies to compete by lowering their own prices or providing higher quality healthcare. Fast forward a few years and we've got Bernie Sanders hoping to succeed Barack Obama, running for president as a Democrat. And this guy not only wants healthcare to be universally accessible, he says he's gonna make it completely free. Obamacare this ain't. And again, Bernie Sanders is not the first politician to propose free universal healthcare, but I think he's the first American politician to make people take it, as well as a host of other progressive policies, seriously in a big way. A whole video could be done examining exactly how he was able to do that.
Why don't you make that video? I know I'm just talking to a wall, but why don't you make that video? But let's go.
Out of the scope of this one though. But there's no question that Bernie Sanders captured the hearts and minds of American voters and was a serious candidate that had a real shot of securing the presidency. And even though he failed to do that, his popularity definitely forced the Democratic Party to rethink their whole brand.
And why was that the case though? Like, we know that the DNC actually did a lot of things to make sure Hillary was the nomination. We know that. We know that. We see that. We saw that it was diagnosed in the debrief of the election. We know that. Don't just leave it at that. It wasn't that his ideas weren't popular. It was that the DNC screwed the Bernie candidacy over. Well, let's go.
To the extent that the second time Bernie Sanders ran for president, a surprising number of his Democratic opponents supported some form of free healthcare. And in general, many observers, including myself, would say that the Democratic Party has undergone a leftward shift since Sanders' presidential bid. But let's not
somewhat
get crazy. They're still the same liberal capitalist Democrats we oh so adore. Another very interesting thing about Bernie Sanders is that he openly identifies as a democratic socialist, and he used that identification as part of his messaging while campaigning.
Well, we're going to win because first we're going to explain what democratic socialism is. And what democratic socialism is about is saying that it is immoral and wrong that the top 1/10 of 1% in this country own almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%.
There's debate about just how socialist his actual policy proposals are. Sanders supported
It's better than what we have now. All right, let's go.
large-scale reforms to the American economic system, but he never quite suggested dismantling its capitalist foundation. But as far as I know, this is consistent with the positions of many democratic socialists who believe we should take incremental steps towards socialism, starting with practical reforms of the current capitalistic system. Of course, some socialists don't agree with this, believing that capitalism is evil and should be destroyed immediately. A common American trope is our misunderstanding and demonization of socialism. To be fair, socialism is an incredibly complex concept that's made even more complex by the fact that a lot of people have adopted it as part of their personal identity, which inevitably adds a layer of subjectivity to its definition. But of course, a big part
all right, no, let's go.
of American discomfort with
I'm
socialism.
not going to get myself in trouble that way, but let's go.
Is a carryover from the Red Scare propaganda that was rampant during and immediately after the World Wars, and has arguably been reignited through America's tense relationship with China.
I take this case to the Supreme Court.
China's not a socialist country. It's not. It's an authoritarian country. Okay, let's go.
This is the Supreme Court. Our decision is as follows. No more private property. No more you.
Americans are constantly told that all forms of socialism are evil and bad.
So I'm gonna actually make a point. Do you see how he played that video, that whole video in complete context, and like is propaganda? This is gonna be the reason. This is gonna lead to the reason why I had to actually make this video. But let's go.
Really quite told why evil is kind of just baked into the definition, kind of like fascism. We know it's bad even if we don't really know what it is. Either way, it's not something most American politicians want to be associated with. You could be the most neoliberal corporatist of all time, as a large amount of American politicians are, but if you say that the government should spend money on anything, you very well might be called a socialist, usually by Republicans. But Democrats have historically been just as hostile to the idea of socialism as Republicans are, most likely believing that it would alienate them from more moderate voters. And also because almost all of them are literally not socialists.
I'm not a socialist. I'm a mainstream Democrat, and I have been.
So Bernie Sanders...
So why would you bring this up when you're talking about socialism and democratic socialists? It doesn't make sense other than to specifically try to tie Bernie Sanders into the Democratic Party, other than the fact that that's the way he was trying to win the nomination. It's a dishonest framing. It's trying to tie him to this kind of, oh, he doesn't really want change. He's already started to build that case. He doesn't really want change. He just wants to come in with a label. But let's go.
Proudly identifying as a socialist would seem to be political suicide. And let's be honest, maybe it did have something to do with why he ultimately failed to win the Democratic nomination. I recall the obnoxious discourse about electability. But it wasn't a huge blow to his esteem that you might expect given our political climate. Bernie Sanders made socialist less of a naughty word. Despite the almost fairy tale success of Bernie Sanders, there was one very notable and ongoing shortcoming that plagued him throughout both of his bids for president.
Throughout the campaign, Sanders struggled to match the support Clinton received from black voters.
The fact of the matter is Joe Biden beat Bernie Sanders by 40 points with African-American voters.
Now, I'm going to let him play his clip. But thanks to the efforts of Vegeta, and I'm going to source him in this video when it comes out. Don't worry, dog. We got you. Let's go.
Core the question is about, as president, what would you do with the rise of white supremacist violence to protect our communities?
Absolutely. Ooh, I know I date myself a little bit here, but I actually was at the March on Washington with Dr. King back in 1963.
This man used the I have a black friend defense about Martin Luther King Jr.
So, this is the reason why I actually had to do this video. This dishonest ass framing that is seen in this video. So, we saw that clip, right? We saw that clip. Let's actually watch the actual clip in context. Here Wait. Here it is. Let's watch that clip in context. Let's go.
Let me answer it. Don't make a whole lot of camp. That we will not accept discrimination in the work.
And this is going to be a little bit long, but we're going to actually watch this clip. Let's watch this clip, and I got to speed it up just a little bit. I'll do 1.5. Let's go.
Of some form of physical violence by an intimate partner within their lifetime. That's all of us in this room and across the country. 1 in 5 women have been raped. And further, each year, thousands of women and girls, particularly black women and girls, indigenous and transgender, are kidnapped, trafficked, or murdered. What is your plan, and what would your plan be as president to end gender-based violence?
So the first question, he actually gives this answer. Let's watch.
Well, for a start, we have got to recognize the severity of the program, of the problem, and make sure that this does not continue to exist. All right? And that means, by the way, not only specific plans and programs, it means a fundamental change in the culture of this country. All right? And that means that every woman in a job feels safe in the workplace, they feel safe on campus, that anybody who rapes or harasses understand there will be a severe penalty to be paid for that.
So you see how he starts to answer saying that, well, let's look at the bigger problem and then let's bring it down to it. This is the context of the clip. And where is it? Here. Let's see. Is this it?
First of all, but we have got to make it very clear that the type of demagoguery we are seeing from the Trump
that's another one.
will not be as the current one is doing that. So what do you do?
I
have dedicated my life to the fight against racism.
Oh, here it goes.
And I'm proud to have led the effort.
This is the actual
everything.
This is the actual clip that he cut. Let's hear it.
That I can to help lead this country in a direction that ends all forms of discrimination, racial discrimination, gender discrimination, and discrimination based on people's sexual orientation. I am the son of an immigrant, the proud son of an immigrant, and I will do everything that I can to make sure that we pass finally in this country comprehensive immigration reform and a path toward citizenship, that we provide immediate legal protection to the 1.8 million young people eligible for the DACA program. So the goal that we have got to establish is to bring our people together around an agenda that speaks to all people. And that means guaranteeing health care to every man, woman, and child as a right, not a privilege.
So he's literally laying out his complete plan in every single time he talks out the point. It's not, well, yes, we can focus on this group, but we need to focus on every group. And let's get to the part where, you know, T1J cut out.
That when we talk about minority communities, when we raise that federal understanding, and that means guaranteeing health care to every man, woman, and child.
With the rise of white supremacist violence to protect our communities.
Absolutely. You know, as somebody who, I know I date myself a little bit here, but I actually was at the March on Washington.
This is the full clip, guys.
And as somebody who actively supported Jesse Jackson's campaign as one of the few white elected officials to do so in '88, I have dedicated my life to the fight against racism and sexism and discrimination of all forms. And as President of the United States, at the very top of our agenda will be the understanding that discrimination of all forms has got to end, period. And you do that using the bully puppet, and you use that doing legislation. If somebody wants to go around perpetrating hate crimes, that person will pay a very, very heavy price indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think what the questioner is getting at is a phenomenon that is actually global. We're seeing it.
So, where was he using the defense of I had a black friend? I'm sorry. Like, that's dishonest framing. That is literally dishonest framing. And T1J, he has access to the full clip. He knows this is dishonest framing. It's just dishonest framing. It's just dishonest framing. He had access to the clip. Me and Wajida found this shit within motherfucking 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Like the fight of Frieza and Namek. It was 5 minutes. But he just used to express the excuse, I have a black friend.
Political left is often accused of participating in identity politics, which essentially describes political agendas that are mostly, if not fully informed by a person's race, gender, sexuality, religion, or other identity group. The modern Democratic Party in America has largely embraced identity politics as a core part of its messaging, and these ideas are generally mainstream in progressive culture. Republicans kind of also engage in identity politics, except they do it in a more dog-whistly kind of way.
But you're doing it now. You're saying socialists don't give a fuck about black people's issues. We're clearly the person that you hold as a standard bearer for socialist policies literally says, no, I care about everybody's issues. But let's go.
However, a lot of people dislike identity politics for various reasons, another thing about which I can make an entire video. But one major assertion that some make is that identity politics misses the forest for the trees, that there are more fundamental problems that, once solved, may address many of the issues that seem specific to certain identities. Some people even go so far as to say that a focus on identity politics will lead to the entire collapse of society.
So, watch this. Watch this. Now, he actually gave a very cogent point. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah, go back to it.
A lot of people dislike identity politics for various reasons, another thing about which I can make an entire video. But one major assertion that some make is that identity politics misses the forest for the trees, that there are more fundamental problems that, once solved, may address many of the issues that seem specific to certain identities.
This was in his script. This was in his script. It's almost as if he's literally... But keep in mind. Keep in mind. Let's go.
People even go so far as to say that a focus on identity politics will lead to the entire collapse of society.
And so that's the fundamental danger of that group identity victimizer victim narrative, is that you fragment your identity in multiple dimensions. You'll find out that you're a victimizer, and then everyone's a criminal, and then everyone's guilty. That's exactly what happened in Russia.
And this is a frequent criticism of left-wing politics.
Why would you frame somebody who is Bernie Sanders, regardless about how I feel in them a lot, but why would you frame somebody that's Bernie Sanders in the same way Jordan Peterson frames identity politics? It's dishonest. It is literally dishonest. That is just dishonest framing. Unbelievably dishonest framing. Because you're trying to make the assertion that if socialists don't care about identity politics, they're just as bad as the Jordan Peterson reactionary community? How? How is that a thing? But it goes on from there. This is the reason why I did this video.
Politics, but it's a criticism that also comes from within the left itself, and often from socialists like Bernie Sanders.
One of the struggles that you're going to be seeing in the Democratic Party is whether we go beyond identity politics.
Messages like
this is the reason why I did this video. Now, again, if we want to get it in full context, and again, thank you to Wajida for actually walking through this with me. Let's go. Bernie Sanders. It's not good enough for someone to say, I'm a woman, vote for me. And this is actually back in 2016. November 21st, 2016. Bernie Sanders identified what he sees as a major struggle over what the sudden leaderless Democratic Party should stand for. Can Democrats go beyond identity politics? This is where it's going to be a division within the Democratic Party, Sanders said Sunday in Boston, according to the Boston Magazine reporter Kyle Scott Claus. One of the struggles that you're going to be seeing in the Democratic Party is whether we go beyond identity politics. Having a party embrace both gender and racial diversity is necessary first step, Sanders said. But if identity politics means promoting black and female candidates who do not have the guts to take on the oligarchy, Sanders says, it's largely besides the point. I think it's a step forward in America if you have an African American head or CEO of some major corporation, Sanders says. But you know what? If that guy is going to be shipping jobs out of the country and exploiting workers, it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot if he's black, white, or Latino. This is Sanders engaging in the fight over the Democratic Party's future direction and over the cause of Hillary Clinton's loss in the sharpest possible terms. It's not good enough for some to say, I'm a woman, vote for me, he continued. In what's hard not to read as a criticism of Clinton's campaign, no, that's not good enough. What we need is a woman who has the guts to stand up to Wall Street, to the insurance companies, to the drug companies. That is what he's saying. He didn't say anything about guilt or say anything about oppression. He's literally saying that, you know what? If you're with me, I don't care your sex, your race, your gender identity, your sexuality. It doesn't matter as long as you have the right ideas. But if you get to the top and are doing the same goddamn thing that the people who were before you are doing, what the fuck does it matter? But again, T1J is doing a lot of dishonest framing here. Well, let's go.
This tend to be unappealing to politically engaged members of marginalized groups. It may feel as if they're being told that their concerns either aren't real or don't matter. And this was emphasized because almost every time Bernie Sanders talked about race, he found a way to change the subject.
And they are standing up today saying that we do not want young African Americans to be afraid about walking the streets, because they may get beaten up or murdered by police officers. But it goes beyond that. If you're looking at that generation today, those young people who are marching, my guess is 20-25% of them do not have jobs because we're looking at massive unemployment today.
Yeah. So, you're criticizing a man when his main platform is making sure that people have jobs, they can take care of themselves. You're criticizing a man. It's such dishonest framing. It's hilarious. For years, libertarian claimed that racists could be taken care of by the free market, but the moment large firms embrace racism, they abandon the idea of the free market. Yeah, of course. The go woke and go broke crowd. Let's go.
Yeah. You're looking at young people who cannot afford to go to college or coming out of school deeply in debt. We're looking at 100 million Americans who have no health insurance today, despite the fact we pay the highest prices in the world for healthcare.
I talk a lot about.
So again, this is so dishonest in this framing because what it is actually saying is what Bernie Sanders literally is saying, and I hate to sound like I'm putting words in his ass, like, yeah, we know that there are issues with cops, and we know that there are issues with, we know that there's an issue that's facing specific groups of people. And yeah, that is a very big problem. But when you also have economic issues, not only do you have issues with the cops, but you also struggle to put food on your table. Like, this is just a thing that happens. Like, this is very quickly, and I've watched this video, but this very quickly evolved into like, well, you want to do all this good for everybody, but what especially going to do for black people? And it's just like, That's not how this works. If you get rid of some of these underlying systems, yes, it won't completely kill racism, but some of the effects won't be felt as bad. But let's let this man continue.
Bernie Sanders, but this is a common aspect of socialist messaging across the board. You are quite frequently hard-pressed to hear detailed discussion about race and other identity issues unless somebody forces it into the conversation, and even then it's usually reframed through the lens of class. And socialists have been debating this for decades, by the way. This is by no means the first time the race issue has been raised, but it still seems to be a problem. Just ask the DSA. To some extent, this is to be expected.
And again, linking it back to cringy college students or people fresh into politics. Like, this is literally just, it's fucking irritating, because all it is saying is, well, we're not focusing exclusively on black people's issues, so fuck everybody else. Again, it's the, I don't mind the system as long as I'm not the target of the system. But when it's trying to help everybody else, it is a fucking problem, because, what about just black people? And I've had arguments about this with black people all the time. If you only focus it towards you, it's easy to destroy that program. Look at the way they did welfare and food stamps. They made the welfare creators a target, even though black people weren't the main people on welfare. But you want to actually replicate this shit for a new national entitlement. Because ego. But let's go.
Expected. Socialism is at its core an economic theory, so you would imagine it would be economics focused. But when socialists describe their theory as being capable of solving social problems, which a lot of people would argue have causes and factors that are outside of the economic arena, I think that's where you lose a lot of people. And it's hard not to look at a movement that is so very white and not chalk this up to simply not understanding how racism works, because we already see white progressives do that shit all the time. This is actually a lesson I think socialists can learn by observing white progressives. Since black people disproportionately vote for Democrats and are black, I think a lot of people assume that the black community is super progressive and socially liberal.
No, it's not. It's not. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. The reason why black people vote primarily for Democrats is because Republicans can't stop being racist. That's just it. That's just the bottom line. But let's go.
But you'd be surprised. According to a recent Pew poll, 68% of black American voters describe themselves as either moderate or conservative.
Now, this is a point that, again, let's go to our resident researcher. Fuck. This dude should have did this video, not me. But our resident researcher. Now, this is the Pew Research poll. And this is a breakdown of different things. But the way T1J frames this as if, oh no, this, if we add this number with that number, then we come out with the number that we want to actually lead. You can say moderate to non is a connotation. And this is just like, this is what, this framing is just dishonest. It's just dishonest. Now, let's hear him actually go back and finish this. Because he took some clips. And it's not as bad as Jimmy Dore clipping. But it is really, really bad. Oh, where? Here. Democrats voters continue to characterize their views as moderate rather than liberal. In 2019, 43% of black Democrats called themselves moderate, and 29% called themselves liberal, and 25% called themselves conservatives. So, 65%. Like, I can put 43% and 29% and call them more left-leaning. That's what we can actually do. Like I said, this isn't as bad as a Jimmy Dore clipping, but it is close to as bad. Let's go.
A number that's stayed relatively the same for the past 20 years. Interestingly, the number of white voters who describe themselves as liberal has doubled in that amount of time. And I wonder if the influx of cringe, performative white progressives who don't know what the fuck they're talking about is part of the reason that black folks explore other political ideologies.
Wow, just let that whole mask slip off. Oh shit. Like, fuck. Like, this is really just it. This is just like, yeah. You know that white people are cringe? You know white people are cringe. Oh, okay. Some black people are cringe too. I'm looking at one now. I just don't fucking get it. If you want better for your fucking community, if you want better for your fucking community, why fall down this rabbit hole? This can't be too much longer. Let's go.
Socialists, this is your chance to not be cringe. One of Hillary Clinton's main attacks on Bernie Sanders in their battle for the Democratic nomination was the insinuation that he was a single-issue candidate. At a rally in Nevada, she told the crowd, "Not everything is about an economic theory, right? If we broke up the big banks tomorrow, would that end racism?"
As we know, Hillary Clinton, an advocate for breaking up the big banks. Wow. Yeah, the advocate for breaking up the big banks. Not somebody who was on the big bank's payroll. I mean, like, and you know, but come to think of it, who actually was pushing redlining?
Rolling Stone called that the line that may have won her the nomination. Sure, it's a huge straw man and somewhat awkward coming from Clinton, who was fairly cozy with Wall Street bankers, something emails. But it does make a salient point that many socialists have trouble addressing in a compelling way.
It's really hard to I guess, present the kind of data and the kind of work that you're doing while simultaneously you're dealing with some of the most disgusting xenophobic and racist commentary and behavior from the right. So how do we overcome that to really share this message in a way that doesn't come across as dismissive of the lived experience of minorities in this country?
Yeah, $1 million question.
Now, inevitably,
why did he cut him off prior to the end of the answer? Let's actually see here. Let's actually see that clip.
I want to ask about
here we go. Here we go.
To that would be, right, if that's what you genuinely believe. So it's hard to discuss this without immediately getting painted as a so-called class reductionist or anything like that. But you and Zachariah write about the materialist wager, which I think is really important to touch on. Talk about how, first of all, what the wager is and how does that fit into the fundamentals for our political strategy?
Yeah, so I think one of the way that we start the essay is we observe
versus class. What's this about?
Wait, is it right here?
On how people,
the rich over the poor. It's something that I've kind of felt.
The Latin American country, America. So in the essay, we look at working age.
Where is it?
Want to distract us with to kind of avoid having to discuss the economic ramifications of what they stand for. But it's really hard to I guess, present the kind of data and the kind of work that you're doing.
Wait, let's kind of go back to where his video was. My fault, guys.
On my thing first.
Where was his? I know it didn't progress this far.
Fairly cozy with Wall Street bankers, something.
Some of the most disgusting xenophobic and racist commentary and behavior from the right. So how do we overcome that?
All right, so let's actually look at that video. Open a new tab here. Oh, come on. What's that? I promise this won't be too much longer, guys. Oh, wrong thing. That's why I didn't come up.
I want to ask
overcome the counterproductive and difficult nature of the kind of campaigning we see on the right. This is a little bit of an extension of Nando's question, where I think both political parties lean into issues of identity and race, specifically because it's part of a culture war that they want to distract us with to kind of avoid having to discuss the economic ramifications of what they stand for. But it's really hard to I guess, present the whole video clip, kind of work that you're doing, while simultaneously you're dealing with some of the most disgusting xenophobic and racist commentary and behavior from the right. So how do we overcome that to really share this message in a way that doesn't come across as dismissive of the lived experience of minorities in this country?
Yep, $1 million question, super question. I think the place that I would start is to just note that if we emphasize the gap between the black distribution and the white distribution, you have to ask, particularly if you have the kind of analysis that I think a lot of people have about white Americans and the influence of racism on their convictions, you have to ask what is in it for them in that kind of politics. I think it's natural to think that basically you would just turn them off, and you would turn them off and make them perfect. You'd invite the right in effect, because you're focusing people on the white-black gap at every stage. You'd be focusing black people on the gap between them and white people, but you'd be focusing white people on the gap between them and black people. And it's natural to think that that would lead to a kind of xenophobic, racist politics. In fact, one of the points that we make in the essay is that our best vehicle for anti-racism is not haranguing white supremacists to try and turn them into altruists, trying to turn white supremacists into thinking that, in fact, they should advance the interests of other people over and above their own, which is what race-based politics presents to them. But in fact, present to them an agenda that is in their own material interest. And in that, like in trying to build a politics that is in the interest of both the black poor and the white poor, I think anti-racism is the natural consequence. Because to build any kind of movement, any kind of collective action movement, any kind of trade union, any kind of social movement, you have to see the people with whom you're building a movement as your equals. And so in that kind of environment, anti-racism is a natural ideology of that kind of movement. That's what we've seen in the history of trade unions in the United States. We've seen a lot of nasty things in the history of trade unions as well. But where anti-racism has made inroads in the white working class.
So we actually have the real framing. Again, this is dishonest.
Really share this message in a way that doesn't come across
the prominent black socialists and black socialist movements. We can point out that many black leaders throughout history were socialists, like Martin Luther King Jr. probably, and W.E.B. Du Bois definitely, or how almost every socialist that's been elected to Congress has been a person of color. It's definitely true that racial movements are often informed by socialism. The Black Panther Party was a socialist organization, and critical race theory is heavily rooted in a socialist framework. And it's also true that the understanding of the intersection of capitalism and racism has evolved due in large part to black thinkers. In his pamphlet Toward a Socialist Theory of Racism, Cornel West, himself a black socialist, admits something that white socialists often fail to either notice or acknowledge, that although racist practices were shaped and appropriate.
So I'm going to end it here. And I'm going to end it here with the actual quote from the motherfucking article. So here, what do we have it? Was it this one? Here. And let me just look for it. Give me a second, guys. I'm just pulling it up right now. Because this is just... Alright, so I think I did find it. This is the actual phrasing. And here, fine. Let's see if I can actually search for it. Give me a second. Control F. There. This is I've actually found it in here. We're gonna actually look at it. The whole phrasing. This is the shit that kind of pisses me off about it. But let's go. Yet Marx is inadequate because it fails to probe the outer spheres of American society where racism plays an integral role, especially in the psychological and cultural field. Furthermore, Marx's views tend to assume that racism has its roots in the rise of modern capitalism. Yet it can easily be shown that although racism practices were shaped and appropriated by the modern capitalism, racism itself predates capitalism. Its roots lie in earlier encounters between civilizations of Europe, Africa, Asia, and Latin American countries that had occurred long before the rise of modern capitalism. Racism is much as a product of international cultural ways as it is in modern capitalism. What kills me is this. A lot of these guys, they're so willing to say that we want black liberation, we want black, exaltation. No, they don't. I'm going to end it right here. You just want to be on the top of the system. You hate being the product of or the target of a system. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, guys, like, share, and subscribe. All the other good shit. I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed by a creator like T1J. When you know what's going on, but you dishonestly frames the whole situation in order to, play towards our audience? To say the DSA is cringy? We know that there are people that are focused on politics. And yeah, they're young and they're just starting off. We know that a lot of black people don't want to go for socialism because we've been sold a bill of goods that, yeah, we could beat capitalism with our capitalism. Ask Tulsa how that worked out. Rosewood how that worked out. Or whatever the fucking town it was. We had our own and we were selling our own. And it didn't work out well. This type of shit irritates me. We're supposed to be better than the dishonest framing that we see from other people. That's what you want to believe. But nah, you don't want to believe that. You just think that you just want to be on top of it. This is the reason why I made this video. And to put it at the end of the script, like Vegeta wanted to say, fuck you. No, I can't do that. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe, and all the other good shit. Peace. It's been a long video. It's been a long motherfucking, yeah, it's been a long day. I want to thank everybody who's taking the time to actually watch, who's taking the time to subscribe, my followers. Yeah. Guys, thank you for watching. Please remember, touch titties always with consent. And by the way, I actually have to do a video. I want to actually cover this Richard Pryor video. Wow, I said Price. But yeah, take it away, Richard.
What do you think that these executives are afraid you're going to do to white America?
Probably stop some racism.
Stop racism?
Yeah, they're probably afraid of that because then people don't hate each other, then people start talking to each other, and then they start talking to each other, they find out who's the problem.
Which is?
Greedy people.
Greedy. I have a couple things I want to ask you there. Do you really think that some of the guys that you dealt with at NBC, no names, right? Because there's lawsuits for that too, that some of these guys really want to promote racism actively, or is it a subconscious?
I just think it's part of capitalism, is to promote racism, right? In order to make things work. If you feel better because you're white and you can get a job, you use that. I mean, I would.
Absolutely.
Say, I'm sorry, Jack, but shit, they say I'm white. I'm going to use this.
Right. Absolutely.
Get this job. I'm hungry, But, and that separates people. So they keep people separated, and that keeps them from thinking about the real problem. That's as simple as I see it. Probably it's not that simple, but...
Now, all right, you and I are about the same age, right? We're in our mid-30s. How long is it going to take before guys who think like you, and I say guys who think like me, people who don't want to have racism in the country, people who don't want to be oppressing any minority, whatever it is, sexual, whatever minority, really get into positions of power and can change things.
You can't get in a position of power, it seems, if you think like that. It seems that the only time you get in a position of power is if you're like the people that are in power. To me, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, people that get to become executives become like the people that were already executives.
I don't know, maybe...
They go in with good intentions, but